What's up guys, Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video I'm going to be going over all the improvements that have come to Raid over the last day or so. I know I'm a little bit late on this and catching up on these items, but we've got tons of improvements going on in the Tavern, epic empowerments going on, artifact presets, accessory filters, artifact removal booster items, as well as Hydra Clash participation rewards. So I'm going to be going over that in today's video, so let's do this. So first things first, all the updates. I'm just kind of reading it right now. And what do we have? What do we have for updates? First, they've been asking for a ton of features. The roadmap represents the quality of life features, and the roadmap looks something like this. So here is the roadmap. The first thing that they're going to be doing is Tavern improvements. So that's huge. So Tavern improvements will become one of the first things to be implemented in the upcoming update, which is huge. We like to hear that. It will help to make the process of upgrading your champions quicker and more efficient, and here's how it will be done. So the champion filter will become available in the Tavern. So there's going to be a filter, which is awesome. It'll work similar to the one we have in the collection, apart from a few extra features that will allow you to upgrade champions who are currently placed in either one of the vaults. Okay, that's big because you actually have to remove champions from vaults in order to upgrade them, which is super annoying, especially if you're doing like campaign battles and you're trying to, maybe you are full up in your Tavern on level 1, level 2, or level 3 champions, and then you're putting them in your secondary vault, but you have to pull them out in order to upgrade them or do stuff to them. So that's really helpful. Champion Ascensions is number 2, will become much quicker thanks to a little slider. So let me actually show you the Ascension slider here. So as you can see, sliders here, you can just slide it all the way to max, which is pretty sweet. I do like that a lot, which makes things 10 times easier. They should have implemented this so long ago. I don't understand why it's just now being implemented, but I do love this. I do love that they did it. That means that they're listening, finally. Thank you, Plarium. Other things. So Ascension, Champion Filter. Similar slider will appear in the Upgrade Skills tab. So if we want to upgrade skills, similar situation appears here with Kayle. We see, if you put a certain book, just be mindful not to put in epic books or legendary books and then slide them all the way and then feed all of the epic or legendary books. I feel like somebody's going to do that and then it's going to happen to newer players. So maybe Plarium should have just made it also so that if you click on an epic book, that it makes it so you cannot feed an epic book into a rare champion. Maybe they are going to do this and it's just something that they didn't talk about, but I think that could happen to somebody. Other things will also allow you to choose which skill tomes to use and how many you need to use at once. See, we can finally say goodbye to the manually tapping on the tomes. Yeah, thank God. Tapping on the champions, tapping on the tomes, tapping on everything, man. Upgrading champion level will be easier with instant upgrades. So instant upgrade looks like this. So you would still have to tap, right? So it's not like they got rid of the tapping feature, it seems. Well, no, they did technically, because you can just click instant upgrade and it'll choose all the champions that you want to feed, or let's see what it says. Let me read this before just assuming. By simply tapping the checkbox, your champion list will display nothing but common and uncommon champion rarities. That's actually massive, which will be selected as a potential sacrifice unless they are currently locked or used elsewhere. But no worries. You can manually remove specific champions if you need to, like if you want to spare our good old boy Death Knight. But this change will definitely make leveling up easier. So the one issue I'll have here is if you got to make sure you manually click on locking food champions that are common and uncommon. So if those food champions that you're leveling up, common and uncommon, are not locked, then you're going to accidentally instant upgrade with food champions. So be very, very careful. I can foresee people doing that as well, because I sometimes have like 5 to 10 level 20 champions that I'm going to try to feed and level up to make rank 3 level 30s, and then so on and so forth. So just be very, very careful, because I, for one, am one of those players. Because I'm free to play, I do level up a lot of uncommon and common champions. I'm sure there are other people who do that too. So be mindful of that. Then we've got another thing that will be improved, and might be the most complex one of all, is upgrading champion rank. The instant rank up button will be automatically fill the rank upgrade requirements for one or even several champions. So instant rank up looks like this, which is pretty sweet. I do love this look as well. And yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. I think this is pretty cool. I guess I guess we have to wait to see what it looks like in game, but I assume like you just place a champion by manually clicking and then click on this little box here, click here, click here, click here, and then it'll go ahead and upgrade based on what you have available instantly by ranking them up. That's kind of cool. It's a little bit faster. It saves a little bit of time. So that's massive during champion training, because who the heck wants to get carpal tunnel during champion training? I, for one, do not. Also, they need to add in a way to pull more mystery shards during summon rushes. Again, that's another one where if you're pulling and pulling and pulling and click 10 and, pull that many, it's like, it's got to be, say you have 60 slots left in your tavern, it should allow you to pull 60 mysteries at a time. And then you feed those champions or upgrade champions, and then you go back into the, whatever you call it, the shard pull summoning portal, and then you can go ahead and do it again. Because obviously, we don't expect you to be like, all right, you can pull 1,000 at once. No, just allow us to be able to pull as many mysteries up to the space that you have in your tavern. So if you have 300 space in your tavern that you made, you can pull 300 mysteries at once that instantly go into your inbox or into your tavern. That's just me personally, because it'll make the summon rushes and chase for champions way easier. Yeah, so that's annoying. So the instant rank up's there. That's kind of cool. A built-in filter will be added to allow you to set the priorities and limitations for each rank, like whether to prioritize chicken as a rank up fodder for champions of rank 5, while setting rare champions as the preferred food for champions that are rank 4. So it will take a little bit of setup. You still have to be mindful not to feed the champions you don't want to feed, right? So if you have champions that are locked, you're good. But if they're not locked, you might be SOL if you accidentally click through really quickly. You can go beyond and forbid the game to use champions with gear or upgraded skills. Ooh, that'll be really, really bad. So, but I'm going to assume that it's not going to use locked champions, because if it does, then damn, that would suck for a lot of people. I'm going to assume that it's not going to take locked champions though. So we expect these changes to make your experience a lot simpler, smoother when it comes to using Tavern. So that's huge. I actually really like that. And then I'm just looking at the last filter here. You can sacrifice champions with gear, sacrifice champions with upgraded skills, sacrifice champions with tags, and sacrifice ascended champions. But again, I assume that if the champions are locked, it's not going to feed them. If it does, just be careful. Always double check things when they first get implemented into a game, and double check your work before completing your work, right? If you don't double check your work, and if you're in school and you're submitting a paper, and then, hey, you might have plagiarized, man. You didn't quote things or use APA style correctly. So similar to this, before you submit it, double check it, make sure you didn't put in the wrong champions, then submit. All right. Because I feel like something's going to go wrong in the beginning, but that's just what happens, So yeah, new things get implemented, things change, things happen. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I love that. The next thing up is Epic Empowerment. That's going to be absolutely insane. Epic Empowerment is going to be my most favorite thing to come to the game of Raid for a long time, because I have so many epic champions that I want to utilize. So for example, you guys know I've got Skull Crown on here. So Skull Crown is going to be an insane champion. And mine is pretty built, I would say. So mine, we've got 5,600, almost 5,700 attack, 237 speed, 100% crit rate, 256 crit damage, 352 resistance, because I sometimes go up against Trundas or Staltis or something like that. And they constantly stun the Skull Crowns or other champions that you have, right? So in order not to get stunned, we've got a little bit of resistance there. So because of the resistance, that's huge. And then with Empowerment, she's going to get more resistance, right? More attack, more crit damage, more speed. So I'm going to have like a 250, 260, Skull Crown ready to go. And she's going to be insane. I will be utilizing her. There's going to be so many other champions that are going to benefit from this, and it'll help you progress your account way, way faster. It'll help you get further into the game, especially for Cursed City. So Cursed City is going to be so much easier, especially on these end stages in Soul Cross, which I can barely even touch because I have epic champions and not as many legendary champions as a free-to-play player. So, and I've been playing for over 4 years, and I just don't have the champions. It's crazy that I have not the gear and or the champions to complete this stage, or I just have to keep manualing it over and over and over after re-gearing them into like stun sets. But with Epic Empowerment, you might not need to gear as many champions into a stun set in Soul Cross. That's going to be massive, all right? Especially these stages like stage 21, 18, 19, where it requires like all epic champions for hard mode. You might not have to worry about using all stun gear because you can bring in full damage champions, drop defense, and possibly just nuke the waves like crazy. So who knows? It might be way, way, way better than we're thinking, or it might be way worse than what we're thinking. All I can say is it's going to be a positive for the game. I think it's a great outcome. And then in the future, hopefully they bring in empowering rares. You know, that would be pretty awesome. Next, we've got artifact presets, accessory filters, which we talk about. Artifact removal booster item. Artifact removal booster item. I don't think I read anything on that though. Artifact removal booster. Yeah, I did not read anything on that, so I'm not really understanding what that is for. But just looking in Discord right now, I don't see anything on artifact booster. So I guess more to come on that in the future. And then Hydra class participation rewards. There's nothing here that talks about the participation rewards and what they're going to get. So I assume it just means that, say, for example, you've participated in Hydra Clash. Maybe it's either you didn't meet the thresholds to make the chests if your clan won, which means you don't get the Hydra Clash chest from beating other clans, top 3. Maybe players just aren't hitting the threshold and they're not getting a chest, which really sucks. So they might just be giving a participation award, which is a reward of specific gear. Maybe it's just rare and uncommon, or maybe low level gear, but it's going to be accessories either way, or maybe it's going to be primal quartz or whatever else they want to throw in there. But it's definitely not going to be like stellar rewards, I don't think. So that's what I personally think. Or it could be something else. I could be wrong, but leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about all the epic empowerment? I mean, what do you think about epic empowerment in general? I love it. I can't wait till it comes out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, what you think. Happy to hear it. And subscribe to the channel on your way out. And I will see you on a video soon. Take care.